Thank you. As you had earlier, I'm Assistant Commissioner of Police, Francis Chemusto. I'm the commander of Anti-Stock Safety Unit, which is based in Karamoja, but it's a department in the Uganda Police Force under the Directorate of Operations, which its operations are basically in these areas. You will see that's the area of, it's a map there. At the end of the day, I know I'm going to take you through. But we take over areas of Teso, part of Sabei, part of Lango, and then the Karamoja area. So the bordering areas covering Karamoja and then Karamoja area is where we are based in our operations, jointly with the other security agencies.
Can you kindly explain, especially for the younger generation, why we need this specific unit within the police?
Anti stock safety unit, you are aware that our economy is more based on agriculture, and of course you are aware that animals form part of our core. The genesis now of criminality affecting the animals, especially violent crime. Government had to come up with the unit of anti-stock specifically to address issues of cattle-related crime. Of course, I will get to the cattle-related crimes ranging from raids, thefts, and other minor crimes and cattle related crime. So basically, the unit was formed to curtail criminality related to animal crime.
This area, Karamoja, specifically has a history of cattle rustling. Could you give us a little bit of that?
Yeah, I will first take you through, but I am going to dwell more on the a brief of background. Uh, Historically, Karamoja has had challenges, but specifically for today's brief, I am going to give you a brief ranging from the last disarmament program, this one which we started around 2021, the Usalama Paote, which is a coordinated, it's a joint security operation. Previously, the situation had really, at first, they had normalized, then later, it again cropped up. That's why the 2021 operation again was reactivated, and this was basically to address isolated cases of warriors rearming, killing of innocent civilians, house breakings, and ambushes along roads. This really came in. But of course, this came in as a result of clans, some clan elements, some clans involving in raids, and this specifically then where the GA who would raid a tour, that is a tour of Abim, the doors of Kabong, Naporo of Karenga, Maseniko of Moroto, and the Turkana living in part of Moroto. Now, there are other areas they would raid. The Pian and the Pokora have also continued to raid some of the counties of Katapi, Bramburi, Queen, and the neighboring areas. So you realize that in the course of addressing this, joint intelligence had profiled a series of warriors. It was estimated to around over 800 guns within the communities. But surprisingly, in the course of the operation, more guns even have been recovered. As I will give you at the end of the day. Joint security has recovered over 1,000 guns. So uh, these criminal elements in Karamoja continued rearming despite the fact that joint forces of us to UPDF territorial police continued retrieving guns. Guns are being retrieved even up to today. There is a gun which has been recovered, I think, in Amudat. Yesterday there was a gun recovered in Kabong. So, but the rate at which we were recovering before, a clear indication that there is progress. You would recover even more than 10 guns in a day. But today you can even stay all week. At times mine are recovering two like that. That shows a drastic improvement from where we are coming from up to where we are today. Now, I don't know whether I'm diverting a bit, but I wanted to go through the security interventions to bring.
That's what because the situation that deteriorated.
Yes. One, as to because of this inadequate manpower, it was covering even up to Western Uganda, up to Busoga region. We had Kamuli and other areas. Now, because of the insecurity which became tense again in Karamoja, being the core of the formation of the unit, the president gave a directive in 2020 while we were in Morolinga, and he guided that there should be reorganization of us to cover specifically Karamoja areas. Now, because of the inadequate numbers, we had to pull, and the presidential directive, we pulled the forces from other areas to concentrate, so that we were able to train well with the UPDF. Because you would realize that the UPDF were on ground, but the anti-stock was totally scattered. Yet this operation is supposed to be joined, and in any normal circumstances, it is supposed to be even, it is us who is in the lead. The UPDF just support, because UPDF on matters involving cows, they support the anti-stock safety unit, and we were again not feasible. So that reorganization really made us be felt on the ground. And then narrowing of the scope of operations, because now, after realizing that really the problem was burning and it was in Karamoja side, the narrowing of our geographical scope, there was an impact, a positive impact felt by our people. Of course, there was also command and control. We shifted our headquarters. These headquarters where I'm sitting was in Katakwi. Now, you can't command a problem when you are not in the real heart of the problem. So we had to shift to Moroto, so that we are able to train well with the divisional commander. In a small meeting, we are together. Because you realize that Riso is here, counter IO divisional commander is here. It was all us two missing. So we had to shift our headquarters to. Then, of course, there was reinforcement of the young force. Before, we had the old guys who could not even track well. At the end of the day, they gave us young blood. There was a reorganization of the force itself, relieving the old guys to go and do other general less tasking work. Because as to work involves tracking, involves running, involves a lot of real vibrant work. So there was a reinforcement of human resource by bringing a young blood. Then we had the free deployment. This is an operational area. Headquarters had to send us troop carriers. Actually, we have a good fleet of troop carriers for mobility of forces, Land Cruiser pickups, motorcycles. This eased our transportation and mobility. Even in this disarmament program, as we are jointly working, we have capacity because we have mobility. We can move to anywhere. We at the beginning, the UPF even sent us a chopper for what the air wing sent us a chopper which would really help in quick response. At the peak of the operation, we could not now follow the hooves. We would now go by air. The PDF had, we also had. So at the end of the day, you find that as the raiders are moving on ground, for us we are up, and really it brought the criminality down. Then the APCs, we would respond at any time. Up to now, we have the APCs, both police and the joint force. Now, this armored protection cars helps us to respond at any time, because you see, even when you are responding, you should protect yourself. So now we are now able to respond at any time whenever called upon, because of the APCs we have. Of course, reorganizing logistic supplies, especially food, fuel, and lubricants. We are now facilitated. We got fuel independent vote for fuel for these operations. Food timely. You see, the welfare of personnel is a core. Our IGP, it is a core welfare for personnel. Now, welfare starts from even food. Now, if I am energized, if personnel are fed well, they will work very well. But if you are not fed well, automatically the impact is not felt. So we now receive timely food monthly, fresh foods. Personnel is receive. We receive fuel timely, and it is justifies and explains why really there is a great success. Then there was a canine deployment in Karamoja region to address the issue of cattle criminality and other crimes, and also to help in the cordon and search operations. As we talk now, we even have the canines in Kabong, where an exercise is ongoing of an operation to weed out some few isolated criminals, and it has a positive impact, really, and it has contributed uh, to to the success you see today in Karamoja sub-region. Of course, command, control, coordination, and communication deployment. Now, the previous the unit here was commanded by even some people at times of lower rank. Now, the unit is supposed to be it's commanded now by a commissioner. You see, the bigger the rank, the easier you can command and control, because you cannot command when really you are not at certain level of strategic thinking. So now, as at the moment, it is that's why you see I'm a commissioner, assistant commissioner at that level and above. There is a way it improves on the organization of a unit, and even addressing the concerns and the challenges of. Then, of course, there is improvement in communication. As we talk now, we have the latest communication gadgets, new masks which are digital. It is easier now. I can just speak my radio here and call Kabong just on this. I can, it is on, I monitor what is happening in the whole Karamoja just on this. So this enhances our quick response and addressing challenges which could hinder us in real fighting the cat. Of course, we have people who liaise with us in communities. We call them our allies, who are peace lovers. They are doing a good job, and so far so good. Then there was introduction of animal checkpoints. Now, raids in Karamoja and thefts have now been commercialized. Now, if they are commercialized, they don't fly; they use rods. Now we decided and we have now a squad of animal checkpoint which has done a lot. This squad addresses animals moving in the vehicles, illegal movement of animals, and then other related crimes like waraji and charcoal operations. Waraji has a direct impact raids. I will explain to you because we have success in that field. Waraji is like a drug. What raiders do, they take waraji with dry ratio. We have had them. We've got them in our operations in the crossfire in the field. You'll get one with a big bottle and dry ratio. Now, when you take waraji, it gives you confidence, false confidence, that even a bullet may not even get you. Then it mobilizes raiders. Now you'll find people in the field with the waraji, with the dry ratio, but very confident. Then the issue now, this waraji, it powers in Karamoja, basically from Busoga. Karamojans don't do commercial production of waraji, but this is the bad waraji, the changa, the one which has resulted to so many deaths even in Karamoja sub-region. So animal checkpoint still addresses that in all angles. The issue of charcoal, you are aware, Presidential Directive number 3, 2023, how it affects the environment. But again, also for us, it harbors raiders. During the day, a raider is burning charcoal pretending. But in the night, the nearest kraal where they were burning charcoal, cows are raided. Looking for the charcoal burners who were burning charcoal yesterday, they are not seen. So, you see how they. So all this, we as joint security, because you realize that those checkpoints are manned jointly. As joint security, we have addressed this to a very greater extent. I talked of the staff welfare. We have medical outreach programs. You see, our units are in bushes where we may not have medical facilities. So the unit developed a system where our ambulances move to the detaches to address cases of medical related issues. Now, when you have a HELSA personnel, automatically you'll get positive what? You get positive results. And this has really worked for us. Then there is an element of acquisition of land. The Wananchi has given us land where we have been able to put our establishments in the crossing points. The Wananchi have been very, very cooperative. I want to thank them. They gave us land. All the land we have in Astru as UPF, we didn't buy, they gave us, including the one at the junction. Several acres. The one at that was a very serious crossing point where there is a factory now, opposite. That was a very serious crossing point over the G coming to attack the Pokora and even cruising up to the Mathaniko area. So they gave us land throughout Karamoja up to Timor. Now, when you go to Timor, even they are constructing a very nice station, organized, just coordination of the Wananchi and some organization. Now, this presence in the crossing points, because if they are told us to buy, we would not manage to buy all everywhere, but they gave it to us. And then, of course, I don't want to forget joint security operations. You can't work alone in Karamoja. And in any operation, in any work, even in any organization, even in a function you're organizing. So our jointness has really brought very good sanity. Of course, we have cross-border operations. You are aware most of our guns are bought from South Sudan, from the Turkana, and even from the Pokot. As you later check on our map, how the criminals move. Now, we now have a very good coordination with our counterparts across, to the extent that now even if the Turkana raid, the security forces of the other side intercept and hand them over back. Recently, we received cows in Kabong. They were taken by the Turkana, but brought back by the security forces across because of our closeness with our allies across. The same thing, if ours also cross, we have also been arresting them, hand over the animals to our counterparts. Of course, to sustain this, we are continuously reorganizing ourselves to suit the merging tasks because things change. The way they are handle their issues now, it is changing. It keeps evolving. And then, of course, continuous disarmament operations. It is going to be continuous. Otherwise, if we give a gap. Then massive radio and TV shows, talk shows, especially radio. We now, they listen to Karamoja, listen to radio a lot. And whenever our CLOs, our teams go to the ground, our commanders, you hear we get in feedback. And then we are trying to strengthen our mobile squads so that at any time we keep shifting our operations. Of course, we have coordination forces. We realize that the coordination forces can be in the boundaries. For example, we have a coordination force in Queen, so that in case there is an escape of some few criminal elements, we are able to address it other than sending forces from Karamoja. But the force we have in Bukwa, we have in Bramburi, we have in areas of Katakwi, Tisai, the other highland, we have in Mukedia. So you realize that those coordination forces are really doing us a great job. I think that is what we have been doing. I don't know, I can quickly take you through the statistics, or it is not necessary for now. Yeah, we, as I had earlier told you, much of the successes here is joint. We have been actually even having a lot of engagements with the Karachunas, especially those who have reformed. As we talk now, we are having a program which is a joint effort between security and the Karachunas. We are planning, I think in October, by next month, we are having a marathon with them. You see, that's having them closer. There are many things you discuss out, which so we are having a marathon. This marathon is aimed at popularizing the sub-county policing model, but we are targeting Karachunas from the nine districts. We are likely to have it either in Moroto or in Kotido, where we want them to compete in some races. As we talk already, we are even in touch with the Karachuna direct mobilizers. We have one, there is a lady in Kotido who is very vibrant. And then there are some key organizers also here in Moroto. And then within other areas. So we have even been moving with them. There was a program we had whereby we moved Karachunas reformed from Kotido to Amudat. We get the ones of Amudat to, we wanted them to tell a story, how good it is not to have a gun, the peace you have. So it has worked. It works very well because most of these warriors are people who have not even been associated to the communities. But having them alone, coming closer to civility. Some have been indoctrinated by some other criminals within their localities. But now, by virtue of the person just coming out to socialize with the wananchi, it is something great. So back to the issue of that arrangement we have been having, we have been engaging even some of them on one-on-one. Some of them are our close allies, our friends. There is a way we at least interact with them. And then also advise them on how they should benefit from some of these government programs. There is a way we try to encourage them. And I think most of them have been beneficiaries of the government programs, especially the PDM. The PDM. They have really, if you will get to I know you will get to the cows and they will tell you, and then other security agencies, they have really been beneficiaries. So all this we have jointly been handling as joint stakeholders. You will realize that even when there is an issue with the cow, which involves growth and development of these people, we have partly been part of the meetings, including even the distribution of some of the iron sheets. You realize that we were also at the forefront of some of the meetings. You get it? So we play part and parcel. At least each and every security agency has a role to play in reforming our warriors here, our Karachuna. The impact has been a really positive. The impact, the outcome of our interventions has been very positive as a result of the direct results which we have. Normally, they say statistics communicate louder than a theory, louder than descriptions. As I can quickly tell you that livestock crime and disarmament operations, which we have undertaken as joint force from 2021 to date, we have heads of cattle which were stolen because we have data. We have 39,232 stolen. Now, heads of cattle recovered by joint security, 35,206. So, and all these recovered and handed over to the rightful owners. Of course, we have a challenge over times exaggerations. It's one of the key challenge. The other day, they stole some cows. They stole around 22, but the person says they have stolen 52. They tracked all the cows were recovered, and the person just fails even to justify because it was a quick response, and the cows were all recovered. So you realize that at times there are a lot of exaggerations. Of course, others support the truth, but others exaggerate. So this achievement alone is something really to be proud of. But we still have a lot also to do, so that we recover 100%. Then the goats which were stolen, we normally call them shots, goats, sheep, 11,977. And we have recovered 8,001. Now, this still, we still have work to do, but this is a great percentage of recovery, and it really tells us that we have done something. Then this really now instills confidence in our people. When someone reports, you realize that your animals will be recovered. You get your PDM money, your bought goods. It is stolen. Quick response by joint security. It is recovered. You have confidence in government. But if your animal is taken and there is no recovery, you say this government cannot. And really, that's what we have been working left and right to as joint security to ensure that we really be on top of the game, so that our people can grow and really enjoy the peace. Of course, there as I told you that joint. I'm not proud of. We are not normally proud of our friends who are in the cause of fire, in the cause of exchange of fire. We have lost some of our friends, the warriors, and also they have also killed some of our people. This one we are not normally very proud, but it is not something very good to become a criminal. Some people really should be good citizens and be peace lovers. Arms recovered. I told you that we have as joint security. The arms recovered, it was previously, Prof, it was around, we were talking of around 800 or what, but you realize that ongoing recoveries, a clear indication that previously there were more because the recovery was higher. But now, as we talk today, the recovery now is at the lower pace vis-a-vis even the relative peace you are seeing. But the recovery is over 1,000 arms, and this is a great achievement to us. Then the arms still a big number recovery yes, still a bigger number, but then still of late the recovery is low. So a clear indication that the team on ground, the stakeholders, cutting across the media, the organizations and others, we are really the local leadership, the elders, the religious leaders, we are on top of the game. Of course, we came up with what they call verification centers. No animal is taken to the market out of Karamoja minus security forces checking them, and including those who would have lost their cows within a specific period of time. Now, as a result of this, stakeholders, political leaders, the security agreed that there must be specific routes for movement of cows. And there are specific gazetted routes. There's the one of Seroti, the one of Chepskunya. Then there is the other one. We closed this, the one of Abim, what is closed. Because it was, they realized that it was not having clear. So there is a reason why some routes were gazetted specifically for movement of what? For movement of cows to curtail. So we had we have verification centers where we have got a lot of recoveries of stolen cows. Then, because for now, it is rare now even to get, apart from markets, now we also have markets, deployments in markets. Where they are selling cows, we have deployments, joint security. And there have been a series of recoveries. For example, there are routes, things, there are routes which Amudat, I've told you, they pass via, the others pass here, Moroto, Soroti, then others go Chepskunya. Then they are the ones of Kotido, Moroto, Napa, Katakush, Kabong, they go Karang, Orom, Kitugu. Then trucks, the same to the other trucks, I've told you the ones of Nakabit, Queen, they go Blambutas. All cows must be brought there before moving, but they are in those gazetted routes. Nadunget, we have at that junction there. You will see trucks going there. If there is a cow stolen from anyone within those areas, you will see them waiting. So they check the cows. If your cow has nothing, we also check the documentations, because we have documentations which a person must possess before selling a cow. Number one is the LC letter from the origin of the cow. Number two, there must be verification from the veterinary officer. Very, 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 very critical. Then there must be those write-ups. You should not get LCs we get in the markets. You find that an LC is hanging in a stamp with this stamp in the market. Now, those are characteristics of stolen animals. If a cow does not have a stamp from the village and the chairman has not given it from the village, it is a very high chance that that cow is stolen. Where the chairman LC one is with a stamp in the market. So we try to then movement of cattle by 6 sharp. where darkness get you, you park there. In most cases, at the police station, at the checkpoint, wherever. We don't allow movement of cattle at night. All these are guidelines under MAIF. We are not it is beefing us security wise, but it is also documented and a legal document under Minister of Animal Industry and what? Minister of Agriculture and Animal Industry. This is under MAIF. Then cattle verified. Now they legal where we have not detected, which is almost impossible nowadays. The cows which have left, which were verified uh, from 2021 to 2025, around, we have verified over 80,000 cattle to the market. Fiscal verification. And while verifying, we have recovered 128 cattle stolen in the course of, and these cows are identified by the owners and handed over. That's a success. We have verified 136 suspects in those verification centers. These suspects, 24 out of the 136 are questioned. Some of them were turned to become our witnesses. And then 112 were taken to court, and in most cases they plead guilty because that is a direct offense. They have arrested you with a goat which is not yours, a cow which is not yours, and you acknowledge it is real. So we have this. In most cases, these are convictions, and it has really been a good success for us. Now, on the statistics, I told that 1,000 jerrycans of warrage, and we have arrested 142 suspects. Suspects taken to court 132, and they also plead guilty in most cases. Most of them are direct convictions. They seek for forgiveness, this, and courts normally know what to do. That's now a matter of court. But to us, it is a success because I am going to give you, as media, you will see the justifications practically here, how Waraj was impacting negatively in Karamoja, both in line of criminality and the health of our people. Because you cannot also say you are doing police work when the health of your people is not also very. Now, whom do you work for? Then Waraj disposed of using a court order, forward in the presence of the religious leaders, elders, 8,000 plus. Yes, 8,873 jerrycans. These big jerrycans, not the Waraj operation justification. You realize that it had influenced the increase of crimes like assault, raids, domestic violence, murders, sexual offenses like defilement and rape. This was, Karamoja sub-region was leading in those crimes. Assault in the whole country. If you go to the statistics of annual returns, and the justification was, it's just basically Waraj in most cases. Now, Waraj used to cause a lot of deaths within the sub-region, and in most cases interpreted as hunger. You remember when they were saying hunger is killing the Karamojong, or what, let's take food. According to Dr. Subuga, the medical secretarian at Matanya, and I would request that you get time and visit Matanya Hospital. You link up the medical secretarian. In 2021, before the commencement of operations against Waraj, 42 people died of alcohol consumption, and 4,576 cases were discharged, alcohol-related cases. In 2022, 26 people died of alcohol-related conditions, with over 4,000 cases discharged. 5,598 cases related to alcohol. While in 2022, we registered 5,300, and this a clear reduction of 297 cases. Now, since we started these operations, I want to assure you the situation have really normalized in Karamoja. We have cases, but they are now doing it like smuggle. It's like a smuggle, but it is not. There is no direct business of that one. And for us, as we must really, the gun must be a story, not to be heard of again. That is our target as joint security. And so far, so good. So the sub-county policing model. Now, Karamoja is unique. Karamoja's deployment is a bit unique, but we are already on top of the game on sub-county policing model. Why am I saying unique? Our deployments are joint. You realize that in other policing areas, you will get general duty CID. But in Karamoja, you will have ASTRO, General Police, EPDF, because of the uniqueness. Now, Karamoja sub-region has 114 sub-counties. Out of the 114 sub-counties, we have presence in, for North Karamoja. They only don't have presence in we have North Karamoja. We have 64 sub-counties. We only don't have presence now in 24 sub-counties. But the rest, that is the rest means 50. There is security presence. There is either ASTRO in that sub-county, or there is General Police or boss. In South Karamoja, we have 50 sub-counties. We only don't have police presence in 4 sub-counties. So the presence also of police closer to the people has really addressed a lot. A very good example is in Timo, in Kabong. There is a sub-county called Timo. It was a real problem. But just a few weeks ago, when we secured land and accommodation, from the time we took the police in that sub-county, of course, jointly with our security forces, we hear no complaint. You cannot even get a call. But the other previous days, calls would be calls. They have again come there and this. But when criminals see presence of security existence in a nearby facility within, they run away. Others decide to surrender. If they cannot hold the ground, then others just run away and perform it in other areas. So the impact is very, very positive. The presence of the wananchi of the security in sub counties is very, very positive. Of course, we still have a lot to do, especially to boost the manpower, so that we are able really to reach the standard of having full capacity, the numbers. And I think so far so good. Well, as I earlier when I was starting, Karamoja sub-region is porous. We have porous borders. When you look at that map, that map there, you'll see our people buy guns. Our warriors, the Karachunas buy guns from Turkana. Others get guns from the Pokots. Others get guns from South Sudan. and you are aware that it is Uganda who has really done a comprehensive disarmament. But the other areas, I think really it is open market. What you find in South Sudan, you find bullet what open market. The same to the to Kanas. There was a time there was a workshop at Lokiogo, the other part. On the roads, Turkanas move. They have there is a way they are not like us here. You get it. So you realize that the disarmament is here, but it is not across. Yet these are people who interact. So the costs I may not really just justify the cost, but automatically guns are cheaper outside there because you find they can just do like barter trade. You find that they can do barter trade, so you may not really justify the cost of how much they buy. But the truth is, the arming is not internal because what is already in is what we recover. The rearming is from out of us, because this one at least even we have evidence on that. But for the advantage we have is we have been removing it from them. You bring, of course, it disturbs a bit. They try to conceal, but above all, the porosity of the borders, guns. These people buy guns from across the borders. Things is in process because recently we had a workshop with the ASTU commanders from the respective countries I was talking about, even up to Ethiopia, South Sudan, Kenya, Congo, the ASTU commanders from the respective areas. And for them, they are also saying that their governments are seriously pushing for the disarmament. And I think that would be a good project, a good initiative for us to really harvest positivity in it. However, even the EAPCO protocols, when you it clearly stresses on issue of disarmament. But I think this is in the process. For us, we have already done it, and we are continuously doing it. Hopefully, the way my colleagues were talking, it seems also they are really in the process of fast track the exercise, so that we come to the same pace. Because if all countries would do it, we would not even have these ones now, which keep again sneaking back to where we have already disarmed. That's a place of enlightenment. You see, you meet several brains there. That place receives from all over Karamoja, senior. Now people tend to share interaction. They interact. They share experiences. You see, when you share an experience, you realize that for us, what we have been doing is not right. So it is just like this community engagement we engage in, because that is our daily bread here. When you go and interact with a specific team, like the way now they interact at the hub, they get out civilized and even with a lot of new ideas to uplift their respective areas. And it is a positive impact, a very good one, a great one. Actually, we even feel the numbers whenever we interact with them, they still cry for increasing of the slots. But of course, we start from somewhere. We have started now and we are growing. So we try also to tell them. They tell us even. You find that is a question which comes. You find that I'm on a community engagement in Nablatu, maybe in Nakabiri. Someone asks you, but now the number they take is small. Then now you tell them, no, we are growing. After all, it was not there before, but now it is there. Hopefully, in the next few years, you will find that our slots are going to increase. Now that tells you that something good is there, and it is really very, very positive. People are very, very positive. But let me tell you, there is the queuing for that. The people who get are the luckiest, because there are very many people who want now to join. Previously, our people used not to, they were not positive on some of those programs, but now they have seen that this is the way to go, and so far so good.